Hello, friends. Nobody's in yet, so we're good. We're good. Yep. Hello, everybody. We are live, even though nobody's here yet. So hopefully people will show up. And we'll see you in the chat since IT guy is playing around with things right now. Hey, Christy. There we go. We have humans, and IT guy is home, so he's here to help me. Hopefully he'll stay awake. He had a red eye last night. We're gonna start. We're doing burger in a bowl today, and just to make me feel better, we're gonna make it as healthy as we can. But to make me feel better, we are going to add some veggies. So I got some carrots here. I'm gonna rinse those off real quick, and we're gonna get those started first. I made a trip to Costco today, and for some reason they just looked really, really good. And I like the different colored ones. I don't think they taste that much different. It's a nice little variety when you make them. So, but these days we are we're washing everything a second time, right? I don't know about you, but I sure am. So how have you been, Christy? Are you guys having the really nice weather we're having? I don't know. I can hardly keep up with what's going on. Hey, P-Mar. Hey, Ruby. Awesome. Everybody's here. P-Mar, hopefully better framing today. IT guy was telling me what you said. And yes, he was right. That's his job, and he wasn't here, so. Hopefully we've got things worked out, and tomorrow or over the weekend, I'm not sure if it'll be tomorrow or over the weekend, we'll get back to our other way of streaming, and hopefully the audio and everything else is better. So, but I do have my oven preheated. We're going to toss some olive oil on these guys. And some garlic powder, which I bought before they recalled it, just so you know. I have some that's already in there too. I was like, thank goodness, because I use a lot of garlic powder. And then I've got some onion powder, and I will stir all this up so it gets incorporated. And some black pepper. You know, carrots, you don't have to go crazy. You can just go kind of simple, which is lovely. So I'm going to grab my tongs so I can toss those. Renegade! I will grab that in just a second and wash it off. So, oh goodness, my neighbor has her son's dog right now. They were in a car accident, and his wife is in pretty bad shape. So, if you got a few extra prayers, they could use them. A school bus pulled out in front of them, sadly, and the driver was cited, but he went in a ditch to avoid hitting the school bus. So, proud of him for that. All right, we have washed this off, this carrot, and I'm going to put it like beneath one of these other ones so it gets all the goodies on it. But yeah, the dog loves carrots. Actually, it's their least favorite, but they will eat them. So their favorite is cucumbers. They absolutely love them. So those are going to go in. We can just kind of let them do their thing. I will probably stir them a couple of times because of having them be 2 layers. I just didn't feel like doing a sheet pan, so that's on me. And then, oh my goodness, they're having a little bark fest out there in the backyard. Being all crabby with one another. But my The other dogs know each other, so they just kind of, they bark at each other, but it's not like frenzied barking, where this is like frenzied barking. So anyway, my neighbor will take care of it. She's very good about that. So anyway, but and I couldn't talk about it yesterday, but um, well, one of our dogs has a P-Mart. One of our dogs has a lot of allergies, so she is not allowed to have anything like no meat scraps, nothing like pizza. That would make her sick. So unfortunately, the other one has to suffer. he gets a lot less treats than he would because she can't have them, and she's a big old chow hound anyway. So we've got to be really careful with her. So he's on the same kind of regimen. But they like carrots, they like celery, they like cucumbers. Not fans of broccoli. Uh, they'll eat it. The funny part about broccoli, if one of them falls, one of them will eat it just so the other one can't. That's the way they are. So, and I'm going to put together some onions here. I'm going to saute those up because, as y'all know, I'm not a fan of raw onions. Some people love them. I don't mind them when, like, it's just like one ring of a raw onion, but anything more than that just kind of overtakes the dish for me. So, but if I saute them, I can eat a lot more of them. So, yeah, she was a street dog, and they said she probably wouldn't have been alive for much longer if they hadn't caught her when they did. So she was a little hot mess when my son and his wife got her, and she nipped at their oldest when she was a baby, and that scared my daughter-in-law. So that's how we ended up with her. So she's not really my dog, but she's my dog. So, and that other goober is very much IT guy's dog. So, and the other one, Olive and Wilson are our dogs. So Olive is my oldest. That's her human for sure. So we're gonna make this really simple today. Doesn't need to be anything schmancy. So we're gonna dice this up, kind of a rough dice, if you will. And we'll get those in the pan. I don't care if there's some extra big pieces, no big deal. Too hot, but oh, there you go. Yeah, we got to be real careful with meat with her too. So if she were to have like real bad stomach upset, instead of like chicken and rice like they normally do, we would have to do like rice with like some chicken bone broth in it. That'd be about all we could do, and maybe some boiled carrots would be what we could do for her. So I've never had a dog with allergies like that, so she's our first. But all of our dogs have been rescues that we've had. We've had 4 now, and 3 of the 4 have been black because we found out that black dogs are the least adopted dogs. So we decided that we would adopt black dogs. So, there you go. Our last dog was a border collie, and she had been returned, and we got her. One of our dogs, we had to take, it was a Sunday, and Halloween happened to be on a Sunday that year, and he lost the use of his legs, and we knew he was fading, and we took him down to the SPCA, and they made us like, we weren't allowed to stay with him. and we knew he was going to be euthanized. And I feel so bad about that. And my son, my oldest, we could go look at the other dogs. And we did. And we came home with one. And she was a hellion when we brought her home. She was digging up my yard. It was October. It was raining. And she was making a huge mess. And so I said, take her back. And when we got back, my husband called me. He's like, I'm on the way back with the dog. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'll explain it when I get there. Well, in front of my 12-year-old son, the lady said, well, you know, she'll be euthanized, right? And my son says, I don't want her dead. And my husband didn't have the heart to leave her there, and I don't blame him a bit. So I said, I would have brought her back too. But we had her trained. We didn't know about border collies. We didn't know they needed to have a job. When she figured out her job was to take care of my children, amazing dog. Absolutely amazing dog. She is the dog that we measure all other dogs by. And truthfully, none of them have measured up. She was the best dog. She was so good. And we were so lucky to have her. Anyway, I miss her. I still miss her. Once she got trained, she was just so good. The only thing we couldn't break her of, and all the kids will attest that she hated gloves. I don't know why. She hated them. And she would go out and she would play in the snow with the kids. And she always ripped their gloves off. Never tore them up, just didn't like them on their hands. So it was just kind of a weird thing with her. We never knew why, obviously, but it never went away. So before that, we had a chow. And I know people are terrified of chows, but he was also, again, that dog was in such a bad way. And we got him because he bit a child. And I said, back then, we would have our nieces and nephews over, this little garlic powder. We would have our nieces and nephews come and hang out. Yeah, border collies are amazing dogs. Once we figured out the breed, we were good. But when we had the chow, same thing. We had to figure out the breed. They're an alpha dog, so you got to be careful with what you do. You can't train the alpha out of the dog. So you just have to learn to respect it. You have to learn to give them their boundaries and let them know they might be the alpha dog, but you're the alpha in the house. And my husband was that person. And again, he kind of adopted this idea that when my husband wasn't around, he was supposed to protect us, which really was nice because back then, it was when people would come to your front door all the time and want to talk about Jesus. And I really didn't want to do that with kids in the house. And they would take one look at that dog and I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot invite you in. He will not let me. And they're like, no problem. Have a nice day. And he really was. I mean, he was a pretty sweet dog all in all. And we got him because he bit a child. And that's why I was saying we used to have our nieces and nephews around all the time. And I was like, nope, if this dog is good with kids, we're not keeping him. Well, on a trial run, we had a couple of my nieces come over. And you have never seen a dog so happy to see kids. He was like this little puppy with them. And we're like, what in the world? How in the world did this dog bite a child? Because we figured out eventually that we used to say a kid could have come in our house and robbed us blind and he would have shown them where everything was. That's how much he loved kids. And, I mean, my nieces used to just treat him like, they actually named him because he was the same color as the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. So he became, we called him Grizzy, but he was AKC registered, and he was Bemis Grizzly Beast. So that was the reason he got called that, was because they all said he looked like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. So, but again, delightful dog. What we found out later, we were his fourth family in 11 months. The chows have this thing where their eyelids actually roll in, and it's extremely painful. It makes their whole head. By the way, do you know you can tell when you should stop chopping romaine by smelling it? It's really like bitter smelling. So when it gets bitter, you stop chopping. Now, people say you can replant those and it'll grow. I've never had luck with that. So I might try it again one of these days. But you usually get like one little spindle up, and that's the end. So anyway, the dog, we found out he had two different kinds, but when we got him, he had two different kinds of worms, and his eyelids were rolling in. I'm like, no wonder, the poor guy is miserable. I'm sure he thought we were awful people at first, because we got him dewormed, and then we had his eyes fixed. So he kept having to go to the dentist, or the vet. And every time he had to go to the vet, poor guy, he was terrified. This big old bear of a dog would just he was a mess. He was a hot mess. So, I may or may not eat all that. Who knows? So, simple, just a little bit of romaine there. Again, it was thoroughly washed, because I don't trust anybody right now. I wish I was growing my own. I've got some planted. We'll see how that goes. So we've got that going. We've got the carrots going. Get these onions a little more. They're starting to brown a little bit. Don't want them to brown too much, because if you brown them really quick, they get bitter also. But we're not caramelizing or anything, so we don't really have to worry too much. I just want that bite cooked out of them. And am I going to put them in there? Yeah, I guess I will. Got about 2 more minutes on those, I think, and they'll be where I like them. So, hi Cammy, thanks. That sounds great. Yep, dogs are awesome. I have more dogs than cats. I don't dislike cats. My husband used to hate them. He doesn't anymore, which is nice. My brother has cats, and I think my brother having the cats helped. He had one cat that thought it was a dog, which was awesome. And the one still got now, they had one. She was a cat. She was a long-haired Persian, and she was such a press. And my brother's husband was the one who had her before they were together. And so Tabitha was her name, and she was a diva. It was hilarious. So, anyway, am I losing my mind, folks? I think, take a breath, Karen, take a breath. So, I'm going to put those all in here, just to hold those for now. I'm also going to turn this down just a tad, because I don't want that burger meat to cook too fast. I'm going to put that That's a pound of ground beef. Maybe a little more than a pound, but close. Sometimes we buy the big thing of Costco ground beef. And then we split it up and freeze it in individual packs. So, oh, I didn't ask him. I'm sure they were happy. He's in the other room. Hey, IT guy, how did the dogs react when you got home? I'm assuming they were quite happy. Might be a little. Did he piddle? A little bit. We made sure. I said, make sure that you guys are outside. Because he is a piddler. So, I mean, he is a chihuahua after all. They're known for that. We always have to tell, and he loves women. No, he loves IT guys too. He loves some men, but like men with deep booming voices, he's not a fan of. So I don't know if something happened. I know his first owner was a female, a young woman in college, and she had to give him up because she couldn't afford to feed him. She couldn't afford to feed herself, much less him. So that's how we ended up with him. We kind of knew his backstory. But yeah, we have to tell when he meets women, we have to tell them, because if they go, oh, because he was so cute and little when we got him, everybody like, oh, you're so cute. And that high register, man, I don't know what it did to his bladder, but it made him release, that's for sure. But, okay. I'm going to go do a quick toss of the carrots before we go on to the next thing. All right, let's give those a quick toss. To quote Ariana Grande from Wicked, toss. If you haven't seen the movie, sorry, but we've been told, and once we were told, we realized how true it was. Our family, we speak in movies. We speak in movie lines all the time. So it was my oldest son's wife who pointed that out. Because we would say stuff and she'd look at us and we're like, don't you know that movie? And she's like, no. So we did a lot of yeah, we kind of, what we learned is he did that a lot, but what we learned was that if you keep your register lower like this, and we would tell them that, just talk in your regular voice. If you go up high, he's going to piddle. So we had to be real careful about that. So we're going to make a burger sauce. That'll be our dressing for our salad, so to speak. I'm doing ketchup, mayo, mustard. I know the approximate measurements. For those of us who've cooked for a long time, he guys speaks in memes. He does. He also speaks in movie quotes like we do. We do a lot of Spaceballs. That's a big one for us. And I made a colossal mistake when my kids were younger, and we were driving, I think, to Florida, and we got a bunch of movies to rent back in the day when you rented like VHS movies, or I think these were on DVD. But they picked them out. We got them from the library, and nothing was worse than PG-13. But I had no idea what this one movie was about. Well, I did, but I didn't. And that's the movie Dodgeball. And we were in the car driving and we couldn't hear all of it. And all of a sudden we heard a line. We're like, what was that? And we started listening. We're like, guys, we're not going to watch it anymore. And they're like, but it's almost over. We were like, what have we done? So, yeah, that was not good. And I am going to, all right. I know I'm pretty sure they're nationwide. These are my favorite pickles. I'll be chopping some of those up in a minute for my burger. And then I'm going to add a little paprika to this. Ooh, that's something I forgot to add to this. I have smoked paprika for the meat, so it's got a little smoky taste to it. We did that with the when I did the Whopper copycats, and my husband was like, "Oh my God, you can make this whenever you want." That one also had a little liquid smoke in it too, but again, something I wouldn't use a lot. But when you're trying to replicate and you can't exactly, sometimes you improvise a bit. So this is getting almost done. I forgot to start this. These are my these are waffle fries in there. So I'm going to try this sauce. Okay. A little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion, and some pepper. I think I'm going to add a little more, just a tad more ketchup. Now, if my husband was making this for just himself, he would be adding some horseradish to it as well. Because, you know, the man likes his spicy. And I'm a huge believer, unless it's got something in it that you shouldn't be tasting, that you go ahead and you taste your food all along the way. And yes, I'm using the other hand now, so. But it's also my own kitchen. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Okay, that's good enough to stop on that. And then for mine, we'll all make ours individually because we all like different things on our burgers. I'm going to add some chopped clausens to mine. I know they always show them with the, you know, the whole pickles and all that stuff, and it looks so pretty, but I'm like, no, I want to be able, I will show you guys how pretty it can be, but when I eat it, I want it all chopped up, I want it all incorporated. To me, that's how it tastes best. So what I do, I mean, presentation is lovely and all, but go with that. And then I'm the only one in the family who really likes tomatoes. Get out a serrated knife because I prefer them. That's not serrated. Wrong one. One next to it is serrated. Hey, behave yourself. Thank you. All right, serrated. Do just some discs here. So you know what's funny, P-Mart? You say that about the salt ketchup, but when I was in college, we would get our French fries unsalted because everybody liked a different level of salt. And then everybody salted their ketchup instead of salting the fries so that everybody could have the level of salt that they wanted. From none to, oh my God. So there can be value in that as well. So, Chrissy, I had gained some of the stuff that I lost last year back, and I've stemmed the tide, and I've dropped a couple, not much, but a couple. So I was actually at the doctor this morning, so I have to go back in 3 months because my A1C was amazing. My weight was about the same, and they want to talk about considering what my blood pressure was at the doctor, they're worried about uh, my risk of a heart attack. However, when I'm at home, it's much lower than that. So as the weight goes down, I'm gonna turn that off. As the weight goes down, all of those numbers kind of come into where they're supposed to, which is lovely. IT guy, I hope you're okay with it, but I'm gonna put these onions back in. He said he's probably not gonna eat that much anyway, so he doesn't mind them too much. He's just not as big of a fan as we are. So I'm gonna mix up some of it in this side with a lot of onions, and his side won't have many. So, okay, so anyway, yeah, so I'm looking to lose a little more weight. So, oh yeah, big time white coat syndrome. I had IT guy, he almost didn't make it. He scared us all. He was an emergency. I was in the hospital for 8 weeks before he was born, and my water broke 13 weeks early. And so yes, I could drizzle this and make it look beautiful. I've got everything chopped up except for the warm stuff, which will go on top. But I'm going to stir that all in so that we mix in all that dressing. And there'll be a little bit of dressing in every bite. But the day that IT guy was due to be born, he was head down and engaged. Those of you who've given birth know what that means. They started a drip for me, so I didn't, trying to spare me the C-section because I'd been in the hospital for 8 weeks. About 9 o'clock, they started my drip, and at 4:16, my husband knows because he looked at the clock. My doctor checked me, and she said, "You're going along nicely, but I swear that's a foot." And at that moment, IT guy's heart rate started to fall quickly, and that was the day I found out that real life wasn't that different from the show ER, which we were big fans of when I was younger. As soon as the way they put it, and they were so calm about it, they said, we're just going to move you to a labor and delivery room or a OR just in case he decides not to behave. And as soon as we got out that door, they took off running with me in the bed. Yelled, "Page the NICU stat." We went running into an OR. Thank God I had an epidural. They would have had to put me out. Maybe it would have been better. I don't know. But I'm not going to get graphic because, we're about to eat here. But Anna, I bought this. I do trust the place I got the romaine from. They don't buy from big producers. So yes, I do trust them. But I'm very picky about where I buy it. and what I buy. And iceberg was really what was the problem to me. So yeah, being super, super careful. Uh, and that's fine. And I, you know what? I totally understand. If you're not buying lettuce right now, I totally get it. I've actually planted some of my own because I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm tired of dealing with recalls and stuff like that. So I've got my own planted. I wash it really, really well, but we'll see. This is my second salad off of this batch of romaine, so I'm pretty confident it's okay. But well, he had the cord wrapped everywhere. He came out, and this, I'll never forget this. The nurse was like, she goes, "Oh my God, that's a foot. That's impossible." Because she was with me all day. She was like, "That's impossible. That's a foot. How did he do that?" So um, so yeah, that's what happened with him. Um, and I heard them say time of birth 419. So in 3 minutes, they ran me all the way down the hall, took me into an OR. IT guy was born, and the next minute or so was the longest minute of my life because he didn't cry. So, and you've heard of babies being born blue? He was purple. He'd gone beyond blue. It was the scariest thing. So, poor little guy. He was a little ball of cord and a little head on top, and it was terrifying. But here he is today, 26 years old. All turned out pretty well. He's my cat. I gotta give him a little bit of a hard time. I am gonna go see if these lovely carrots are ready. I'm guessing maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Might have to wait. Yes, it was a very scary day. I was, and then he went to the NICU, and if there's one good thing about how long I was in the OB special care, it is the fact that I was given steroids to develop his lungs, and God love him, he never needed anything other than some blow-by oxygen. I'm going to pull out just a few of these because there are a few that are done, but the rest of them could cook a little bit longer, and I don't mind them if they're a little crunchy. So I'm going to get like some of the smallest ones out that are, that one got purple from the other one. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just grabbing a few. I know they're going to be good. So I'll leave that over here. I'm going to put these guys back in. Okay. All right, like I said, just grabbed a few. Now, the recipe that I use is, and yes, I use Smart Balance for my cardiologist. So he's like, it's okay every once in a while to have a little butter, but for most things, use that. So I use just a little bit of that. So, hi Ian, welcome in. We are kind of finishing up here. Finishing up a little early. The waffle fries are still going, but that's fine. Okay. So these again were roasted with some olive oil, onion powder, garlic powder, and pepper. And I didn't put any pepper on, that's right. And I will add minimal salt. So, oh, sorry, Joan, I missed you. Oh no. Oh, I'll have to check in with Joan later. We're friends off this page as well, so I'll have to see what's going on. Her son's been sick a lot. Her son's a type 1 diabetic. Just, I'm not sure if I was allowed to say that. Sorry. But, like my husband. Oh yeah, they need more cooking time. They're still crunchy. Sometimes people who write recipes, you wonder what in the world they were thinking, because they were like, this was a 30 minutes, no way, and these are the thinnest ones. So anyway, yeah, they definitely need more cook time. But I was also going to put some parsley on them. We talked about this before, but parsley helps you. It's a diuretic. It helps you flush out bloat. And I'm with you, Christy, which is why I'm excited that the waffle fries were just done, so I can grab them off of there. Um, One of my, oh, there it is. Sorry, couldn't find the spatula that I wanted. The nice thing is, because I can't have croutons, I can use, especially the smaller crispy ones, taste like croutons, and then the bigger ones you can use like a piece of bread, so to speak. So I'm gonna toss those on there. Whew, it is warm in here today. It wasn't warm when we started, but it is warm now. All right, so flavor of the carrots is great. And now we're gonna tuck into this. So we've got the burger sauce on here. I've got the Clausen pickles that are stirred in with that. And then I've got my little tomatoes on there, the cheese, the meat, all that good stuff. And I'm going to grab one of these. Ah. You hear the crunch of the carrot? I love a raw carrot, but not when I'm expecting it to be cooked. So, well, P-Mart lives near me. So, yeah, we're going back to the 90s next week. I'm like, we've been spoiled for like a week. It's been so lovely. This is one of my favorite meals. It really is. It's, by the way, if you're hanging out here and you're new and you haven't subscribed, we would love it if you would. Love to have you along for the ride. Tomorrow we're going to do a turkey taco skillet, and next week, not sure what I'm going to do about Monday. We'll make that decision tomorrow, and I'll let you know tomorrow afternoon. But Tuesday starts what we are affectionately calling Soup-tember. IT guy, can you deal with them? So we're dealing with Soup-tember, and we are going to do soups and stews, and one day will definitely be chili. We've already talked about that. So yes, any break from the heat. Now I love summer. Don't get me wrong. I love this time of the year. Spring and summer are my jam. Hopefully it's not a rainy fall because those are not my favorite times. But yeah, we've been quite blessed with, like, we even had one day it was high 70s. So it was like, this is awesome. So yeah, one of my favorite meals. I'm actually looking into maybe doing a cheeseburger soup. We're going to see. Also, if you're on Facebook, I think I'm going to try to do a poll tomorrow and see what kind of soups people would like to make. We'll probably start the month with like lighter soups because, I mean, I know it's supposed to be soup season, but if it's 94 degrees, we're not wanting big hearty bowls of something. We want something light that's easy to digest, I would think. So anyway, so yeah, and I've been looking ahead. Ooh, I'm really excited about what's coming up. I love making soup. I'm excited about that. We're going to do some comfort type foods in October. And then somewhere in the November area, we will switch obviously to American Thanksgiving and also holiday treats that are some naturally gluten free and some are going to adapt. So um, we're done early today. So I've got all of this. Like I said, those carrots have to cook some more. Um, Love putting these on top of a salad. They mimic a crouton and just make me happy. We don't have to have a big old plate of them, just enough to kind of get you through. So that's today. Tomorrow we're doing turkey taco skillet. Hope you guys will be back to join us same time, 3:30 Eastern time, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Remember to eat well, to be well, and I love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. That was a different way of doing it. Damn.